Struggling with Propfirms? Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be speaking over a very important topic. I'm going to quickly mark some zones. Obviously you can see these zones. I'm not going to refine them, it'll just take quite a bit of time, or maybe not even that long actually, but I'm just going to mark out the important ones. I can already see some zones here as well, minor ones, but I want to go over something, and because I've been speaking to some of you guys, right? And what I always see, I will bring myself in later, but for the time being I'm just gonna remove myself. So basically, there's always this huge misconception. We'll be going into it. Actually I will bring myself in right now. So just because the markets are 24/7, we have this assumption we have to be trading all the time. Now stay with me, right? Because you're gonna learn something. Now, just because the markets are 24/7, just because we have London session, New York session, Asian session, does that mean all 3 sessions have to be traded? Or just because there's like, maybe thousands of current trading instruments, does that mean every single one has to be traded? Or we need to trade 20 at a time, 10 at a time? Or just because there's multiple time frames, does that mean we have to include every single time frame into our strategy? And then we start off with the daily, then we break it down to the 4 hour, then the 1 hour, then the 15 minute, then the 5 minute, 2 minute, and 1 minute, so on. That is where you're going wrong as well, because trading is already difficult as it is, right? And you need to understand that it's already hard as it is. And this is where I always pretty much try to explain to, I've already had these chats with some of my one-to-one students, and it's crazy, right? The kind of information that they bring with them, right? And it's like, no. And I always feel like when we're discussing like in the one-to-ones, it's like when they bring all the information, all that their strategy, whatever you want to call it. And obviously I will start with the question, why do you think you're unprofitable, right? It's part of one of my questions, and just so I get a bit of an understanding, and then obviously I do, before I do ask as well, what strategy are you using, and then I just like to nitpick, and because it's very important, and it's very important for me to, when I ask questions later on, or when I'm giving, sharing my thoughts and ideas, it's very important for me to know where you stand, or where the individual stands, in case maybe whatever I'm saying and they're just flying over their head, right? And because if I'll give you an example. Suppose you got a strategy now. Imagine if you have 1 million billion trillion belief that your strategy is the one, right? There's some hardcore ICT followers, there's hardcore believers in smart money, supply and demand, support and resistance, whatever you want to call it, because the truth of the matter is all the strategies work, right? Now where people go wrong, and this is where they blow a lot of money as well. Suppose you have this 100% faith in your strategy, right? But imagine you're only messing it up, or well, you're only destroying your accounts. Why? Because imagine that strategy is not the one for you though. How crazy is that? How crazy is that, right? Again, I'm not just don't want to go off topic. Bringing in all these time frames and bringing in the sessions. And what do I mean by this? Suppose you are a huge, you love the idea of ICT strategy, right? Or let's just say supply and demand. But let's just say that can only work for you, but you don't know this yet. Because that's another harder thing about trading. We don't have answers to questions that we don't know what questions to ask yet, right? That's where a lot of trade beginners go wrong. Suppose you keep backtesting for London session and let's say New York session, but imagine if your strategy would only work for you if you traded Asian session, for example. I've actually had this happen to one of the students. He was trading in when he's applying his own strategy, and now just because of the part of the world that he's from, he only had Asian session available to him. in the UK here, agent session starts like, after like you pretty much late in the evening, 11, 12, late in the evening, so at night, should I say. So basically, but usually if the time when he only had available to trade was an Asian session. But when he applied it to London session and New York, I'm bearing in mind not the strategy what I showed to the students, his own strategy. He already started seeing some improvements. But when I said to him, look, take my strategy as well, my edge as well, and see how. And then obviously, he's performing really well. He's passing Propfirms challenges now as well. So it's super important. And there was 2-3 time frames he was bringing in. He was bringing in like the 30 seconds. I was like, why? Kept getting the most premium package for TradingView. Why? Oh, I just like to see the way the seconds move as well. I like to, dissect it to the, no, you don't need all that. This is one of the reasons. Okay, first, people don't know, and I've been a victim to this myself for many years. First, we don't know what currency pairs to trade, trading instruments to trade, what time frames, what strategy to use. Once we have that, then we don't know how to mold it according to our lifestyle. Now that's the missing part as well, right? You gotta because people, where they go wrong is they try to adapt their lifestyle to trading. No, adapt your trading to your lifestyle and make it less stressful. And trust me, when you're a happy trader, that's when you start doing damage on the markets as well. So in a good way, by the way. Okay, so in this case, in my strategy, I'll give you an example. I trade the break and retest. Now the break and retest obviously happens everywhere and all the time, pretty much on everywhere, right? Any trading instrument. I don't care if it's crypto, I don't care if it's currencies, I don't care if it's forex, options, stocks. Break and retest happens everywhere. We all know that, right? But does that mean now I draw a zone every single time, right? Wherever I see a zone, I just jump in, and whenever I see my confluence, I just jump in? No, that's not what it means. Now it's about, okay, where can I apply my edge, right? Now drawing high quality zones is part of my edge, but that is not how I'm gonna trying to make the money, right? So I'll give you an example. You see these large moves here, this is where my edge is, right? And this is what I like to avoid. Now I do trade more than one currency pair. If you're in the mentorship, or if you're even if you've got on the course. And by the way, before I continue, let me just show you something as well. Link will be in the video description if you do want to join. Well, if just community of 1400 plus members, almost up to 1500 now, halfway there. 50 away, for 60 away from 1500. But yeah, link will be in the video description, and just message me if you are looking for. If you've been struggling for trading many years. Just message me one-to-one, and it's truths in the pudding, right? That's why I always post the videos. Even in my community, you can see, right? Name me another YouTuber that does this or show stuff like this, right? Passing Propfirms challenges with 0.5% risk in one trade, passing 2 Propfirms challenges in one day, 0.5% risk. Making it look very easy and comfortable. Not with a lot of drawdowns and crazy, swings and all that in there on the P&L, on the line chart in the Propfirms dashboard. Obviously students hitting number 4s on the leaderboards. I've actually got another one coming up on the leaderboard soon as well. I have had the message, so I wish him nothing but the best. So yeah, it's all in there. Live trades, winning trades, losing trades. Now I've been getting really busy, so I've not had the chance to always post all my trades recently. It's just because I've just been having my hands full the last few weeks. But still though, right? You can see obviously this one was posted, passing 60k account, literally within about 2 days, literally. And then funny story is, they declined one of my trades because they said I traded within the news. Now period. Now the market didn't move like the news, so I thought, I didn't realize, I didn't even look at the Forex Factory to see the news. So it's still within 30 seconds. So then what do? I go back in the charts. Within the next 3 hours, I just pass the challenge again, and you can see here like 1 to 7s, 1 to 11 rich rewards. I'm only risking 0.5%, and we're still pretty much hitting those targets comfortably with a decent win rates. Now this is obviously another one here as well, so you can see, so it's all in the transparent, it's all proofs in the pudding. So again, testimonials. Now by the way, if you do not want to, if you're not looking for the one-to-one mentorship, I made the most affordable course on the internet, so I don't want to waste too much time on this. Videos get uploaded all the time. It's about 12 videos, like super detailed. We just refine the course as well, so it's a lifetime one-time payment. Yeah, so because I get tons and tons of messages of people saying, when can you make an affordable course for people from like third world countries. It's all there. So coming back to the point, now what I do is I wait for volume, I wait for a trend. It's super simple, right? There's no rocket science. I don't want to put good money behind bad risk. For me, what is bad risk is, for example, this here. Let me give you an example, right? We're going sideways over here. So what we'll do is we'll color the sideways. Color it black. Okay. The market that's moving sideways, we'll color it black. There's no money to be made here. If I can see something like this happening, why should I bother entering, right? You want to see clear, bullish candles. If it's in a bullish trend, look at the size of them. Look at the way they, the speed at the way the candles are printed. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, you're on the 1 hour time frame. All the candles are going to take this pretty much the same time to print. Yes, I totally agree. But what I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. You got to pay attention to candlestick characteristics, right? Super, super important. Do you know when a candle is formed? Like example, this one, you've got this bullish candle here, right? Do you not? One minute. Let me put this on a bit of a playback so you'll understand this better. Okay, let's go on a small 10-minute time frame. Okay, now this is what I mean, right? Look at this. This candle here took 1 hour to form. So did this one. So did this one. But this is what I mean by the speed. This high of this candle and this low of this candle, right? Keep an eye on this. Look at this. This from this low to this high, it only took 10 minutes though. These candles also took 10 minutes, and so on and so on. But you cannot see the volume, the size difference. That is an early indication the buying volume is about to come in, right? Pay attention. Super important. You can either set alerts on your phone. You can set monitor your phone every 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever you want to call it. But this is how you play the game. This is an industry where there's no cap to how much you can earn. So you gotta be laser focused. You can't be like, oh yeah, I'll just watch a movie at the same time, watch some Netflix, go out with some friends, go to the parks or go to the movies, go to whatever, go for a walk, and and then I'll just I'll just open my phone, and if I'll just take the trade if it seems fit. No, you've got to be on the ball every minute, literally. Depending on how you strategy, obviously if you're a swing trader, you can just place your trade and walk away for the week or 2-3 days. But if you're a day trader like myself, you have to pay attention to the candlesticks. Not every single one, but you got to pay attention to when's volume coming in, when's and so obviously we can see over here volume starts coming in, right? Now you got to pay attention to something else as well. The volume of these candles, of this one especially, look at this, it starts going smaller and smaller, right? So obviously volume's starting to decrease a little, and then it starts picking up again. So that's why we get this huge, and then obviously look at these bullish candles here. Again, if I go on the 10-minute small time frame, now something else you can take into consideration, look at how many bullish candles are being printed. Do the bullish candles outweigh the bearish candles? What I mean is, look at the strength of the trend. Always look at the strength of volume. Look at this. More bearish candles, so we get a bit of a tug of war, but bullish, bearish, bullish. So we are going sideways though, but then a lot of bullish candles come in, right? A little bit of a tug of war again, a little bit of choppiness. Wicks are bigger than the candle bodies, and then boom, bullish, buyers take over. So it's a no-brainer. Now obviously overall we're pretty much in a bullish trend anyway, right? Overall I'm speaking about. Let's go on the 4 hour time frame just to confirm. Yeah, right? We're just making higher highs, higher lows. We're going higher and higher, and then an outburst over here. You should only be focused on buys, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, right? Even if sell opportunities come, and don't get me wrong, they will come. They will come a lot, right? And then someone's going to be like, well, yeah, but then if a sell opportunity comes, why can't I trade that? Sure you can, my friend, right? Sure you can trade it. But the downside to that is, it is still a winning trade. Even the most crappiest trade opportunity is still a chance. You still have the possibility to win the trade, right? Even if you take the worst possible trading setup ever, you still have that minimum 1% chance that you can win the trade, right? We know that. But what we are looking at is what you want to do, obviously, what a smart individual wants to do, is put good money behind good risk. What is good risk? A high probability setup. That even though you have the risk of losing your investment or your money that you know on the money that you risked on that trade, you know, it's still good risk. Why? Because you have a higher probability setup, higher probability of it winning, right? So it's a low risk setup. How do you make a low risk setup, you may ask? Trade where there's volume, right? And trade with the volume, trade with the trend, right? Now look at this. Now another thing that really irritates me is when you see a lot of volume and this is like a waterfall coming down, or it's like, why do some people try to catch the bottom of it? What I mean by that is, oh yeah, it's going to go reverse from here, I'll take a buy here. Or it's going to reverse from here, I'll take a buy here. It's like catching a knife, literally. And those try to catch a knife, I hope the knife just goes through your hand every single time. Because I cannot put enough emphasis on this. The amount of times, you know, it's like a dam breaks and all that river, like all that water, you know, bursts through. Do you think you're going to be able to stop that river? That tons and tons of that pressure behind it, that force, that weight behind it, you don't think you're going to be able to catch it? Impossible. Literally impossible, right? Price comes down, we're breaking through these support levels, and then prices, those exact same support levels, now price is reacting to it like resistance levels, and it just keeps on falling down. I can even see minor support levels here, and that's why you get those reactions from here. Major support levels are here, but we don't get any. Look at it again. This is why you never try to buy from, you never try to catch the knife. Why? If you would have gone for a buy here, literally knife going through your hand. Just absolutely, look at that. It don't even test it as support. How crazy is that? Yes, it comes back up to test as resistance, but catching this as support, only this at this point, right? Why do you think this one acted like a little bit of a support, and then obviously the whole thing collapsed? But why do you think at this point it acted as a support? Because this was the major support level in the past. It was also another early sign, my friends. Look at this. What do you see here? Not the best quality one. Let me just change just one moment. Not the best looking, but it's a head and shoulder pattern. Obviously, ideally, you normally, but this one's got two shoulders. Yes, head and shoulder patterns do also have two shoulders. You know, it's crazy. Don't go for what you see on the Google and all that. No, you know what the classic head and shoulders. No, the market don't care about Google. The market don't care about those images. It will print what it wants to print, and how it wants to print is told. It's up to the market. You know, just yeah. Don't wait patiently for those clean setups. They're never gonna happen. Very rare. Maybe once in a month, probably. Might not even be that. Okay, so price coming. Okay, so again, yeah, price very bearish, tanking. What I want to do then is I'm gonna ride the wave down, right? And that's all I do. That's all I do. Let me show you another example. Over here as well, we can see. Look at this. Why would you want to buy this? I'm trying to catch the bottoms of this. Why? Right? Why would you want to catch the bottom? I'm just yeah. It's just crazy. What do you think you're supposed to be doing here, ladies and gentlemen? This is exactly what I go over in my mentorship. Exactly what I go over in my mentorship. Obviously, I've been doing this for a few years now, so you know, it's like just second nature. But it's super simple. And I don't trade one currency pair. I want to make this very clear. The amount of currency pairs that we trade, you will get plenty of opportunities throughout the week. And this is why I'm able to catch these 1 to 7s, 1 to 9 risk rewards. And let me just show you in case someone like, oh, you know, truth, it's all here. Proof's in the pudding, right? So let's go on some live trades. Some will be 1 to 4s, some will be 1 to 5s. Let's go further up. Some will be 1 to 9s. Let's go this 1 to 10 risk to reward. Running out 1 to 10 risk to rewards. I always show my MT5 to show the pips. You can't fake this. Pips this year, you can't fake this. So this is why I was from the broker, right? And catching these nice big moves. That was a 1 to 20 RR. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Was it? Oh no, sorry. I was assuming it was at 1 to 6, and then I believe this one did go maybe to a 1 to 12. But it's not the only trade. Like there's monsters in here. You can even go through. Feel free to go through it all. But yeah, I hope this helped, because once you got your strategy, once you got your you gotta place rules, and then it's all about waiting for the right time to enter. Just wait for your trading session, the correct trading session. Wait for your correct time frames. Wait for your correct, everything has to align perfectly, right? Everything has to align perfectly for you to become profitable. I hope you found value from this. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Link will be in the video description if anyone does want to join the one-to-one mentorship. Just message me by joining the Discord community. Change your trading game forever. Literally, I made it affordable for everyone now as well. Mentorship and the course. Just trying to help as many people as I possibly can. Yeah, take care. I'm out.